The Inevitable Cycle of Light and Darkness and Other Stories. Written by Pabitro Odhikari. Narrated by Ashish Hazra and Sanchoita Bishwas. The Inevitable Cycle of Light and Darkness. At the dawn of creation, when the architecture of the infinite first reached completion, its architect, Aeon, felt a profound exhaustion. When faced with a decision, he did not choose a single path. Instead, every potential alternative gave rise to a separate, distinct universe. In the moment of decision, the universe split like a branching tree. In each branch, a different situation became reality. Thus, countless events began to occur simultaneously across innumerable diverse universes. Our universe is merely the manifestation of one among his billions of alternatives. The core concept is that all possibilities are real and exist. But as he sat on his throne as the cosmos architect, he saw that the grand cosmic project he had created with infinite love and knowledge held one fundamental, immutable flaw. No energy can be completely eliminated from its source. When the primary stage deities attempted to purge various faults, malice, and negativity from their minds, those rejected mental energies or fragments of negativity began to drift in the corners of space. These cast-off mentalities, condensed at the limit of gravity, in a dormant reservoir of time and the tamas guna, quality of darkness, inertia, known in history as the repository of aversion or hell archive. This was the realm of darkness, the birthplace of asuras, demons. The birth of Kalikashur from the hell archive. The devas, gods of our mythological age, were the bearers of the sattva guna, quality of goodness, light. Symbols of light, order, and creation. Conversely, the asuras evolved from the hell archive, advanced beings driven by the extreme force of the tamas guna. They were the embodiment of cosmic negativity. Both species could utilize all parts of their brain simultaneously, allowing them to control the power of the five elements at will. The resonance of Akasha, space, the velocity of Vayu, air, the flow of Jala, water, the intensity of Agni, fire, and the solidity of Prithvi, earth. They were the universe's first super entities. The source of the Deva's immortal power was a rare, high-potency biochemical liquid known as the essence of life, ethereal. The churning of the ocean, Samudra Manthan, was merely a symbolic event. Ethereal was a substance that rejuvenated the telomeres of millions of cells, indefinitely suspending aging and death. The asuras were fiercely covetous of this ethereal, as this life essence could counteract the decay of their inherent tamas guna and lend permanence to their destructive power. The asuras employed body transfer technology to shift their life force and tamas fragments from one body to the next. In this way, they attained longevity and accumulated knowledge and power across generations, circumventing physical destruction. From the deepest layer of this hell archive, from the epicenter of condensed malice, was born the most terrifying and far-reaching Asura, the Shadow Lord Kalikashur. He did not come merely to plunder wealth or power. His cosmic objective was to transform this world into the ultimate prison of the Tamas Guna. He sought to destroy all manifestations of Sattva in creation. The spark of love, the glimpse of beauty, and the subtlety of art. Kalikashur was a masterful symbol of destruction. His army used a terrible energy-draining technology, through which they absorbed the life spark of defeated soldiers, concentrating it with their own bodies, thus making their power irresistible. In a short time, the Asuras conquered Swarga, heaven. Their extreme hedonism for women and beauty slowly began to extinguish joy and artistry from creation. The manifestation of the flame of purity, Ayurya. Driven out of heaven, the Devas took refuge on earth. They realized that it was impossible to combat the negativity accumulated in this cosmic creation single-handedly. The Shadow Lord Kalikashur was the summation of billions of years of accumulated negativity and tamas, which no single deity's power could destroy. Therefore, to restore the balance of the universe, the Devas made the ultimate decision to merge the pure essence of their Sattva Guna with the fundamental components of the 5 elements. This combined high-level energy wave created a universal energy dynamo in the cosmic void. From that dynamo was born an irresistible, synthesized flame of power, Goddess Ayurya. Goddess Ayurya took up arms. Her Trishula, trident, held the burning power of the fire element. Her movement commanded the control of the air element. Her firmness was the immutable symbol of the earth element. And her every step carried the infinite resonance of the space element. She was the ultimate condensed form of all purity, the cosmic war and eternal balance. The cosmic conflict raged for hundreds of years. It was not merely a war between 2 factions, but the primeval and endless conflict of sattvas and tamas, of light and darkness. Finally, in a supreme display of strength, strategy, and purity, Goddess Ayurya vanquished the Shadow Lord Kalikashur. However, the universe's fundamental flaw principle held true here as well. It was impossible to completely destroy Kalikashur. His tamas guna could not be entirely erased. Therefore, Goddess Ayurya used her power to seal his tamas guna back into the depths of the hell archive. This seal is a temporary measure, because as long as human minds harbor negativity and malice, new energy will continue to accumulate in that archive, which may give birth to Kalikashur in a new form in the future. Goddess Ayurya is a symbol of that eternal power. She is the guardian of cosmic balance, who even today continues to sow the seeds of positive consciousness in human hearts, so that tamas may never again reach its extreme form and consume the universe.
The cosmic journey and the return of the dinosaurs. The cosmic context. We know that the Earth travels about 584 million miles around the Sun each year. But this is a tiny part of our true journey, as our Sun is also in motion, orbiting the center of the Milky Way galaxy at a speed of nearly 5 lakh miles per hour. The entire orbit takes about 225 million Earth years, which scientists call a cosmic year. The Sun's age is now 4.6 billion years, during which it has completed about 20 galactic orbits. The last time the Sun completed an orbit, new dinosaurs were just appearing on Earth. Imagine how new our human history is in this vast context. The Sun is currently in the middle of its life and has time for about 22 more orbits. If our Sun was shrunk to the size of a white blood cell, the entire Milky Way galaxy would be as vast as the continental United States. We aren't just orbiting, we are undertaking an incredible cosmic journey through the galaxy's spiral arms. The departure of the luminosauros. The cosmic year is an unbelievable time span of 225 million Earth years. In this vast context, human history is less than a blink. The last time the Sun circled the Milky Way, dinosaurs were newly arriving on Earth. However, a segment of those dinosaurs knew that cosmic time was not just a matter of speed and distance. It was also a precursor to danger. During the late Cretaceous period, when giant reptiles ruled the earth, a group among them called the luminosaurs, the most intelligent and advanced of their species, detected the sign of an impending cosmic catastrophe. The date of the meteor strike was clear in their ancient calculations. While other dinosaurs ignored their warning, the luminosaurs toiled for many years to build a cosmic vessel. It was named Nova Novus, means new star. The day they began their journey was the same day the meteor struck the Yucatan Peninsula in the Gulf of Mexico. Earth was bid farewell, and the reign of the dinosaur ended in extinction. Encephalos. The luminosaurs traveled far, reaching a new planet called Encephalos, a calm, cloud-covered Earth-like world in the Deneb constellation. There, they started a new life. Their descendants resided on that planet, and Earth became merely a chronomyth or a tale of time. Their civilization advanced rapidly. Their concept of time changed. One galactic second for them was equivalent to 100 Earth years. This gap in time was negligible to them but epic for Earth. A great deal of time passed until one day, when two suns blazed in the sky of Encephalos. A group of young explorers led by Vectrix decided to turn the myth of their ancestors' homeland into reality. They discovered the ancient Nova Novus ship, repaired it with modern technology, and set off for Earth. Return to the forgotten homeland. After a long, unimaginable journey, Vectrix and his team arrived on Earth. They didn't recognize the planet. Instead of greenery, massive, towering glass skyscrapers pierced the horizon. Fast-moving hover cars zipped through the air, and strange creatures roamed everywhere. Creatures with furry bodies, walking on two legs, and engrossed in complex technological devices. They quickly learned the name of this new species, humans, an advanced ape species. The luminosaurs were astonished to see that humans were researching them. Their fossils held a place of honor in museums. They saw ridiculous movies being made about them, depicting them as stupid, colossal monsters. Vectrix realized that this immense gap in time had altered all their plans. They were no longer the masters of this planet. They had become a symbol of past. The search for successors. Vectris began searching for his own kind. They found that their true successors, the apes, still existed on Earth. But they were stunned to see that the true descendant of the dinosaurs, the birds, were in a highly lamentable state due to the persecution by this advanced ape species, the humans, confined to small cages, driven from grain fields, or merely kept as pets. This sight pained Vectris. They were dinosaurs who had left the planet to escape extinction, but their very descendants were suffering extreme hardship in this new world. The dinosaurs understood that this earth was no longer safe for them. This advanced species posed a new threat to their existence. So they returned. The dinosaurs began to wait patiently for a time when humans would be destroyed by their own self-inflicted catastrophe, and peace would return to this planet. Then the dinosaurs would come back to this earth.
Adric's Cosmic Final Journey. A cruel tale of time and fate. The forbidden game of time. In the late 21st century, humanity, at the peak of its technological prowess, was stunned by an unprecedented discovery, the time machine. However, the use of this device was strictly forbidden. The reason was simple. Every experiment led to catastrophic results. Test subjects would vanish in an instant, and the same fate was inevitable for humans. Yet, one person survived this destructive power. He was Adric Sengupta. Adric Sengupta was an ordinary scientist whose dream was to unlock the mysteries of time. His relentless determination drove him to the dangerous time machine laboratory. When he activated the machine, a flash of blue light filled the entire lab. The intense radiation caused an incredible change in Adric's body and DNA. Unable to withstand the radiation's impact, he fainted. When he regained consciousness, he found himself in an unfamiliar world in an unknown time. This world was completely different. The atmosphere was filled with toxic gases, and traces of destruction were all around. Humanity was now living deep in the oceans or in artificial habitats in space. The unveiling of miraculous powers. Half dead, Adric was found by a secret organization called the Universal Global Confederation, UGC. They were humanity's last hope for survival. The UGC took Adric to their space station, which was an extraordinary marvel of technology. They treated Adric for a year, and during this time, a miraculous change occurred in him. He realized that he could use almost his entire brain, which helped him control the forces of nature. He could become invisible, travel faster than light, and most astonishingly, absorb the powers of others. Adric understood that these powers were a result of the time machine's radiation, which had given him a new existence. Meanwhile, a cruel force called the Advanced Dimensional Front, ADF, was oppressing the ordinary people of Earth. The leader of this force was Zenobia Blaze, a ruthless and power-hungry woman. Zenobia believed that ruling over the weak was her birthright. The UGC adopted a complex strategy. Zenobia's younger sister, Iris Blaze, was being held captive by the UGC, The UGC deliberately placed Adric in a cell with Iris. At first, Iris was suspicious of Adric, but a friendship later developed between them. During their long conversations, Adric realized that Iris also believed in a cruel ideology, just like her sister, Zenobia. Iris calmly began to convince Adric that the true rise and evolution of the human species would only be possible when the weak and unproductive 90% of the population were wiped out from the planet. According to them, this brutal step would help humanity reach its ultimate goal. Although Adric did not agree with this horrific ideology, he did not protest. Adric used his new powers to help both of them escape. Betrayal and the final conflict. With Iris's help, Adric and she entered the ADF's secret base. It was here that Adric first met Zenobia. Zenobia was impressed by Adric's extraordinary powers. She quickly gave Adric a high position in the ADF, as she wanted to use his power for her own purposes. But Adric had a different plan in mind. Secretly, he contacted the UGC and made Zenobia and Iris believe that he would work for the ADF against the UGC. Adric gained the trust of the ADF and leaked all their secret information, weapon locations, and the main headquarters blueprints to the UGC. He knowingly chose this path of betrayal because he understood that neither of these two groups were entirely right. But the destruction of the ADF was essential for humanity. The Advanced Dimensional Front, ADF, was not just a military force. Their main goal was to achieve power and technological superiority. To fulfill this goal, they followed a well-planned method. They would abduct all renowned scientists and technologists and bring them to their secret base. This base was a place where no news from the outside world could reach, and escaping from there was almost impossible. These captive scientists were forced to work under the strict supervision of Zenobia Blaze. They had no opportunity to research freely. Their talent and knowledge were used only for creating destructive weapons. The ADF's purpose was to create weapons that could control the entire human race. These scientists unwillingly created weapons that could one day threaten the very existence of humanity. When Adric entered this secret base, he faced this cruel reality. Based on the information provided by Adric, the UGC forces destroyed most of the ADF's bases. The ADF's power was then on the verge of collapse. Adric then created his own invention, the Black Hole Dimension Shifter. This was a device that could send a place to a completely different dimension. In the final battle at the ADF's headquarters, Adric activated the device. It sent the entire headquarters to a dark, unfamiliar world from which returning was impossible. In this horrific conflict, both Zenobia and Iris lost their lives. As the ADF's main headquarters completely disappeared into an unknown dimension through the Black Hole Dimension Shifter, Zenobia and Iris, the two sisters, met their inevitable fate. Zenobia, until her last breath, was burning with a desire for revenge against Adric. With her remaining power, she attacked Adric. On the other hand, Iris, no matter how cruel her ideology was, had a deep bond of friendship with Adric. When Zenobia's final blow came hurtling towards Adric, Iris didn't hesitate for a moment and stepped in front of him. She sacrificed her life to save Adric. Iris's self-sacrifice mentally devastated Adric. Witnessing Zenobia's cruelty and Iris's sacrifice, these two opposing events, Adric understood that his cosmic journey was not just a game of power. It was a complex tale of trust, betrayal, and love. The cruel irony of fate. After their work was done, Adric requested the UGC to return him to his own time. The UGC agreed to send him back, as Adric's power was an unknown threat to them. The UGC used an advanced version of the time machine to send him back to his own time. But upon returning to Earth, Adric realized that all his miraculous powers were slowly fading away. The energy he had gained from the time radiation was depleting from his body. He became an ordinary human again. His cosmic journey was fleeting, but this brief life had brought him face to face with a profound truth. Adric's short yet intense life reveals a deep truth about our universe. We think we can change the course of time, but in reality, we are just a part of a predetermined script. Adric's journey is a living proof of this rule, where every event, every step was an integral part of a cosmic design. His arrival, his gaining of power, his struggle, and the fading of his powers, everything seemed to be a part of some cosmic script. Adric was just a character in that story who had accepted his destiny.
The Seed of Evolution, Kolkata a century later. A century has passed. The earth is no longer as it was. The devastating wrath of climate change has pushed human society to a mortal test. But from this adversity, science has ascended to a new height. Human settlement is no longer limited to just land. Defying nature's fury peacefully, advanced, self-sufficient human civilizations have been established deep under the sea. Space travel is no longer luxury for the elite, but an integral part of ordinary life. A honeymoon trip to the moon is now an easy vacation. The average temperature on Earth has increased by several degrees in the world of 100 years later. This warmth has brought a radical change in clothing. Both men and women now wear lightweight, close-fitting, temperature-regulating designs. As technology has advanced with frenetic speed, humans have become increasingly dependent on machines. The subtle touch of artificial intelligence (AI) driven devices permeates almost every aspect of daily life. There has been a major upheaval in international politics. America has lost its long-standing hegemony. The center of power and innovation is now multifaceted, and South Asia is currently one of the world's most important regions, with Kolkata shining brightly as its core. The sky rail shoots through the heart of Kolkata like an arrow. This rapid transit vehicle, made of glass and metal, is a marvelous sculpture of modern architecture. As it stopped at a sky rail station right in front of the College Street crossing, a strangely attractive young woman clad in a yellow t-shirt and black jeans alighted. Her presence in the crowd was magnetic. Her arms and legs were longer than normal, and her head was slightly asymmetrical compared to her body. Likely a result of modern genetic trends, her ears were pointed and long, and her brown hair cascaded in waves to her shoulders. Her complexion was unusually fair. With an undaunted and confident gait, she walked towards the gates of Calcutta University. The gate was manned not by a human, but by a mechanical security robot, which smiled faintly at the girl and saluted her respectfully. This girl's name is Cameron, and she is just 15 years old. In the world of 100 years later, where average lifespan has decreased, this age is not considered young at all. Perhaps due to natural causes or their own fault, the average lifespan has decreased. She is the daughter of a highly aristocratic family. Her father was once a vital member of International Security Council force. A mark of firm resolve is always visible in her eyes and face. The unveiling of mutagen. A small research room, blending of old architecture of the university with modern features. In one corner, a boy is deeply engrossed, staring at a computer screen. The boy is 18 years old. His name is Johnson. He is of a very ordinary build, but slightly taller than others. He has a dark complexion, wears glasses, and almost always has a smile on his face, though his face looks serious when deep in thought. His gaze is profound, evidence of his indomitable intellect. The girl advanced towards the room with long strides. As she knocked on the door, automated lights illuminated the room. Johnson looked up at her, and his seriousness vanished instantly. He got up, took Cameron's hand, and asked her to sit beside him. Johnson exclaimed excitedly, "Cameron, my research has succeeded. I couldn't even believe it would happen so soon." Cameron could barely trust her own ears. Her sharp ears trembled slightly. "What did you say? Your research? Are you telling the truth, Johnson?" The boy looked deeply into her eyes and said, Yes, mutagen is completely ready. I have named this discovery mutagen." Cameron jumped up in delight. "Then we will be the richest people on earth." "Not just rich, we will be the happiest too, Johnson. We will elevate mankind to a new height." Johnson suddenly became serious. A glare of light reflected off the lenses of his glasses. He said, "No, you are mistaken. Don't forget, a great power brings with it a great responsibility. This discovery can improve humanity, but it can also be misused." Johnson then pointed to the equipment and explained the core concept of his discovery to Cameron. He stated that mutagen's primary goal is to activate the brain's larger unused parts and to modify the genetic map of genes so that humans can internalize the power of nature. Mutagen is a compound that can specifically cause mutation in DNA through radioactive phosphate capable of creating a superhuman. Johnson took out a bright red crystal stone from a large cryptographic safe and handed it to Cameron. The word mutagen was finely engraved on the stone. Johnson warned that the stone would only activate after 7 days. Touching it would cause it to shatter, releasing an intense energy ray capable of transforming any ordinary human into an incredibly powerful superhuman. "This is now the world's most valuable and dangerous object," Johnson said. "I'm sure our work hasn't been a secret. Perhaps some people have heard about it." Cameron, sensing danger from her natural instinct and her father's security-related experience, warned. Agreeing with Johnson, she decided to move the stone to a secure, hidden compartment in her own quarters. The catastrophe and the resistance. Johnson's fear was not unfounded. News of mutagen had secretly spread and reached the ears of a ruthless organization named AUG. The AUG forces had a secret base deep under the sea. They would kidnap renowned scientists from different parts of the world and make them create various destructive weapons. AUG was a powerful far-right global faction who believed that the true development on Earth was impossible without destroying a large portion of humanity. Conversely, AUG's opponent was the UAC, an International Security Council force dedicated to protecting humanity. Exactly 7 days later, just as the mutagen stone was on the verge of activating, a fierce cyclone began in the city of Kolkata. AUG launched a swift and precise attack on Johnson's laboratory with their advanced aquatic technology and bioengineered soldiers. Their objective was clear: seize mutagen and its inventor Johnson. When the automated siren blared in the university, Johnson found himself surrounded by AUG operatives in sleek black diving suits. They were powerful, equipped with heavy armor, and swift in the movement. This distorted, robotic voice of a lead operative echoed, "Johnson, you are coming with us. Your invention will help fulfill our purpose." Johnson stood firm. Mutagen was created for the progress of humanity, not its destruction. Cameron, with a surprising tone of authority in her voice, declared, "He is not going anywhere." Cameron instantly began fighting with AUG operatives. She wasn't just fast, she seemed to anticipate their every move, almost as if their next action was known to her beforehand. Her long limb structure gave her a distinct added advantage in this kind of unexpected acrobatic combat. Johnson, seeing Cameron's desperate fight, knew that physical strength alone would not hold off this advanced force for long. He lacked physical strength, but his intellect was the world's greatest asset. He quickly rushed to his computer, attempting to activate a defensive protocol. As the battle intensified, the combined attack of AUG soldiers cornered Cameron. Just as an operative grabbed her, a powerful flash of electricity spread through the entire room. Johnson had managed to activate a local EMP, electromagnetic pulse, burst from his computer, temporarily rendering the power of AUG's advanced armor ineffective and creating extreme confusion. In that crucial moment, Cameron freed herself and quickly spun around, using a heavy piece of equipment lying on the floor as a makeshift weapon. "You want mutagen?" Cameron shouted, the resolve in her eyes as intense as a storm. "You will never reach it!" The lead AUG operative, realizing this sudden failure of their advanced methods, quickly ordered a retreat. Their mission had failed, and the UAC forces were rapidly closing in on the university. The AUG operatives retreated to their deep subterranean base. When everything calmed down and the UAC forces secured the university, Johnson rushed to Cameron. "Are you all right? Did they hurt you?" Cameron, still panting, had a victorious smile on her lips. "I'm fine, and mutagen is safe." She pulled out the small, bright red stone from a hidden pouch in her clothing. It was still inactive, but full of potential. Johnson looked at her, his eyes filled with deep gratitude and admiration. Cameron, the different girl, had proven with her immense courage and innate abilities that even in this age of advanced civilization, the bravery of one person can save the world from a great danger. She had protected Johnson, his discovery, and the future of humanity, proving that a great power indeed brings a great responsibility. And 15-year-old Cameron was perfectly prepared to carry that responsibility.
Camellia and the Monster from the Multiverse. Far from the city's hustle and bustle, in the solitude of a quiet lab on the outskirts of Kolkata, 30-year-old Camellia was engrossed in the most important research of her life. Through the lens of a microscope, she watched the mysterious dance of quantum particles, meticulously logging every shuttle movement in her notebook. She once had a successful career at institutions like the Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, but a fierce desire to unravel the unknown mysteries of the multiverse had led her to abandon that comfortable life for this solitary path. Camellia believed that the infinite expanse of our familiar universe was not the only one, but that it gave birth to countless universes existing in parallel. She had a deep connection with Kolkata. The city's every nook and cranny was filled with her cherished childhood memories. Victoria Memorial, Robindra Sadan, Nandan and Park Street. So whenever she took a break from her difficult research, she would venture into the city, searching for those memories. She often thought about how 1,000 years ago the city was a dense forest filled with the chirping of birds. And 1,000 years from now, perhaps, this city would be completely different, no longer ruled by humans, but by the dominion of creatures from a different planet. Suddenly, the doorbell rang, interrupting her thoughts. Opening the door, she saw a handsome young man, Arithra Basu, looking at her with a sweet smile. Arithra introduced himself as a traveler from the multiverse. He explained that he used his shuttle or astral body to travel from one universe to another. The Kolkata he came from was now ruled by aliens. His universe was 1,000 years in the future, where the human species was nearly extinct. Hearing Arithra's words, Camellia's eyes widened in astonishment. She asked, "How is this possible? How did you conquer time and space?" Arithra's smile faded. With a sigh, he replied, "Dreams. The world of dreams is free from the illusion of time and space. A person can use this shuttle body to travel through dreams from one time to another, from one dimension to another. This isn't an ordinary dream. It's a quantum state of the brain, where our minds reach the deepest sleep. Our shuttle bodies merge with the quantum waves of the universe. By using a specific frequency, we can float through the stream of time or reach a different dimension. However, it requires special mental training and is extremely risky." He further explained, in different universes, in different dimensions, the speed of time is different. So after spending one day in one universe, you might find that a year has passed in another, and the opposite can also be true. A terrible truth came out in Arithra's words. A 20-foot tall mysterious creature had arrived on a deserted island in the Pacific Ocean. It came from an extinct universe and was trying to bring its Fabian colleagues to Earth to annihilate the human species. To save themselves from this deadly threat, they had to kill the creature. Camellia didn't hesitate for a moment and was ready to help Orithro. Camellia seeks help from her old colleagues, Dr. Blateria and Dr. Gustav. With state-of-the-art weapons from Gustav's lab, they quickly returned to Kolkata. Then Camellia called her old friend, Indrajit Sanyal. Indrajit was a rational physicist, but he didn't believe in the multiverse or such things. Indrajit couldn't believe their words at first, but when they instantly reached the Pacific island using Camellia's travel device, he was stunned. An expression of disbelief and fear was etched on his face. Reaching the island, they followed the creature's massive footprints to a cave. A rotten, sulfur-like smell wafted from inside the cave. The cave walls were slimy and damp. Orithro warned everyone, "Before we go inside, we need to use our invisible shield because the creature is incredibly fast and powerful." Camellia entered the cave and saw the creature busy with its communication device. The creature's body was as hard as stone, with sharp thorns on its back. Its eyes glowed like fire. Camellia used her pen device to make a sharp sound, attracting the creature's attention. She knew this was their only chance. Hearing the sound, the creature turned toward her. Orithro and Indrajit attacked with their fire blasters, but their weapons couldn't even scratch the creature's body. The creature made a monstrous sound and rushed toward Indrajit, gripping his throat with its huge claw. Indrajit's eyes were on the verge of popping out of their sockets. Camellia, with her injured hand, picked up a special gun. There was no fear in her eyes. In a moment, she aimed the gun at the creature's head and fired. The gun's deafening sound shook the cave walls, and the giant creature collapsed to the ground. An unusual grey liquid oozed from its body, mixing with the air and increasing the sulfur smell even more. After the creature died, Camellia, Orithro, and Indrajit sighed in relief. They thought the danger was over, but their relief did not last long. Inside the cave, they saw the creature's communication device was still working and receiving a signal. A strange language emanated from the device. Orithro gasped, "Oh God!" The mysterious creature had already established contact. This means the Fabians are now coming toward Earth. They had no time to waste. They quickly took the device and returned to Camellia's lab. In a corner of the lab, the device clicked and buzzed, giving birth to a new fear. The fate of humanity was now in their hands, and their mission was not over. It was the beginning of a new chapter.
Camellia in a mysterious universe. The origin of the multiverse. Initially, there was only one universe, where everything was well planned. According to the rules of universal programming, what was to happen was always predetermined. No one could change the future. If someone tried to change an event by traveling through time or seeing the future, it was understood that the event was meant to happen that way. All our efforts are merely tools in the hands of time. But suddenly, a glitch appeared in this programming. The same event began to happen in various different ways, creating chaos. To resolve this chaos, countless new universes were born. The flow of time in each universe is different. At the heart of this multi-world is a supreme universe, which is free from all illusions of time and dimension. The Darjeeling message. As Camellia drifted in the cool Darjeeling air and paused for a moment at the glass window, her phone rang. On the other end, her friend Orithro's excited voice said, "We will be there by tomorrow morning. We have some urgent things to talk about." The next morning, Camellia, Aritra, and Indrajit sat sunbathing on the hotel's private lawn. The mountain clouds played on the peaks of Kanchenjunga. Impatiently, Camellia said, "Now tell me that important thing you came all this way for." Aritra took a deep breath and said, "Camellia, we have received a signal. A messenger wants to meet you." Camellia looked on with curiosity. "From where?" Aritra replied, "From that supreme universe." The name brought an expression of wonder to Camellia's face. Aritra explained that this supreme universe is the central point of all reality. Many believe that after death, the soul finds its ultimate liberation there. Furthermore, the collective consciousness of all universes is connected to a single point in that supreme universe. Indrajit asked, "Where will we meet?" Aritra smiled mysteriously and answered, "In an ancient cave near the confluence of the Tista and Tribeni, a hidden truth deep in the cave." The next morning, in the dense fog near the river confluence, the three of them reached the mouth of the cave. The cave was dark, but instead of fear, they felt a strange attraction. The deeper they went, the more their compass seemed to point towards something new. Eventually, they saw a luminous figure waiting for them at the end of the cave. "Camellia, I have come to this universe to meet you," the messenger said. Their voice was like the sound of 1,000 rivers at once. When Camellia asked the reason for the visit, the messenger said, "Thousands of years ago, beings from an advanced civilization called Xylos discovered a way to travel from one universe to another. Their science and technology was so advanced that they could enter the supreme universe at any moment. This is why their existence became inevitable." The messenger further explained, when their own inevitable destruction was at hand, the beings of that civilization took refuge on your earth. They hide their most powerful weapons against the demons deep within this cave. They hope to return one day and collect them, but they themselves vanished from the pages of history. After the fall of the Xylos civilization, the demons emerged from the underworld. They spread across various dimensions and began to mercilessly persecute countless species. But they don't know that the only weapon to destroy them is hidden on this earth in a secret cave. The journey to the mysterious universe. Under the messenger's guidance, Camellia and her team allowed their existence to drift into a stream of dreams. Through the dream world, they instantly arrived in a mysterious universe where the earth, sky, and reality were the exact opposite of their familiar world. They realized that the dream world is free from the illusion of time and dimension, which is why they were able to move so easily from one dimension to another. There, they reached a huge palace where a queen was waiting for them. Camellia was stunned because the queen looked exactly like her. The queen smiled sadly and said, "There is a faint connection between our brains. That's why I have often felt your feelings in my dreams." Camellia also admitted that she often dreams of being a queen of a vast empire. Camellia said, Following the instructions of a messenger from the Supreme Universe, we have come to your earth through the dream world to save your planet from the demon attack. The queen said, yes, the beings of the Xylos civilization had a special weapon to defeat the demons, and according to the messenger from the Supreme Universe, that weapon was on your earth. Camellia nodded and said, yes, we have collected that weapon for you. We have it. We will do our best. The queen explained that their two universes are complementary to each other. The existence of one is dependent on the other. If the humanity in our universe is destroyed, she said, then the humanity in your universe will also cease to exist. The queen also said that there is a supreme God of this multiverse who has given the responsibility of protecting this universe to three great gods. She said, the foundation of this multiverse is zero, but its size is infinite. It was created from the union of 1, 0 and infinity, and its language is mathematics. So, if we want to understand this universe, we must first understand mathematics better. The Great War of Kanchenjunga. To defeat the demons, Camellia created millions of weapons. Then, their war camp was set up at the foot of Mount Kanchenjunga because it was easy to observe the demons' movements from there. The war began. The snow-covered peaks of Kanchenjunga trembled with the roars of the demons. The battlefield vibrated with flashes of light, the clang of weapons and the sound of thunder. A terrible war took place, in which humanity, led by Camellia, defeated the demons. The return and the question. After the war, Camellia and her team said goodbye to everyone in the mysterious universe and returned to their own world. As everything became clear before their eyes, they saw that they were standing outside the hotel room. The scene in front of them made it feel as if they had woken up from a long dream. The exquisitely beautiful Kanchenjunga stood before them, as if a silent witness to their bravery. One question swirled in their minds from that experience. Was it just a dream or the beginning of a new chapter in the multiverse?